The management aspect is definitely probably the number one. Like once you get a deal, and so getting a deal out of state's not that difficult. You can
Sure.
rely on boots on the ground, especially if you're working with brokers and agents that know what they're doing and have experience. Finding a good deal, analyzing a good one out of state. That part actually, at least to me, seems like it's the easiest portion. It's the management portion that can take your asset and make it worse
Sure.
or make it really, really rewarding for you and lucrative over time. How are you solving that problem whenever you're hundreds of miles away from your market?
Absolutely. Property management is so important. And Sarah was just talking about it, but we are not ones to self-manage, especially in the size of assets that we're looking at, typically 60, 70 doors on the small side. But even if you're looking at single family houses or you're looking at small multifamilies, I would encourage everybody who's listening to find themselves a really, really good property manager. The term that we use in our industry in multifamily and specifically is somebody that's boots on the ground. So whether that's somebody who's going to be a partner with you who can then network and find that local property manager, or you can just find that property manager that has an established footprint there. And you want to ask really smart questions. You want to make sure that you're vetting them. How long have they been there? How many units do they manage? You want to make sure that if you're buying small multifamily, that the operator, the property manager, can actually handle those small multifamily, because there's a lot of single family property managers that do an awesome job in the single family space, and they think their model is scalable and transferable. So yeah, we'll manage your 8 unit, we'll manage your 10 unit. And what you'll find is that it's very different. It sounds the same, like, oh, what's 1 to 5, 1 to 6? What's the big deal? It's very, very different. When you go above 4 units and you're in that 5 space, now you're in a commercial type transaction, and everything is NOI based, right? You're valuing these assets based on cap rate. So that's a different conversation that property managers aren't used to having. So asking those types of questions, depending on what you're buying, is really important. And you want to make sure you do your due diligence on these property managers, because at the end of the day, you just hit the nail on the head, Chris. You can buy a great deal. It can look great on paper. The numbers could work really well. But if you put a bad property manager on that property, it can kill the deal. And it's kind of the other way around too. You can buy a deal that's maybe, looks a little thin. It's still a good deal, but maybe it's a little thin. And they can exponentially grow that property and really make it a really attractive asset, so that when you're refinancing, or if you're finally, exiting, you can really capture that value on the back end.
And at least from the multifamily commercial space, it seems like that's the biggest game right now. Not so much the huge uplifts, although those opportunities, they're always going to be there, but is finding the property that it is a good asset, well run, actually has good numbers, but there's some opportunity there that the owner, for whatever reason, maybe they've capped out. They're not going to put the extra capital expenditures in that's going to take it from or take it to the next level. And they're leaving that opportunity for the next owner to bring their unique perspective, their plan of action that's going to take it from, I don't know, 500,000 NOI to 625, which exponentially grows the valuation. And especially if you do that over a 3 or 5 year period, that good deal today is an even better deal 5 years from now.
Absolutely. And you want to find property managers that not only understand what you just said, but we try to find one that are very open to, you could have a whole another panel on this, leveraging technology, right? This industry is starting to change, especially on the property management side. And I think tenants in particular are starting to look for what we call resort style amenities. So even if you're, even if you have a duplex or a fourplex or a 10 unit, do you have smart technology in the home? Are you offering Wi-Fi? Are there Nest thermostats? What's the quality of customer service that you're really offering? And you want to make sure you align with a property manager that's not just fixing toilets and collecting checks. A lot of people can do that, right?